Hi, welcome back to Estate Planning Using LLCs for Professionals. I am Barry Haimo. I am your host. Thank you for stopping by today. Today we're jumping into Trusts 101, and that relates to LLCs. I'm sure you're wondering why. Because LLCs are inevitably going to be owned by trusts in sophisticated estate planning. So what are trusts? Well, I would define a trust as a legal entity that is composed of three main parts: a trustee who manages assets for the beneficiaries. That is as simple as you're going to get. Okay? There's a lot of parties to a trust beyond those I just mentioned. You have the grantor or the creator, sometimes called a settler. You have a trustee, successor trustees. You have beneficiaries and successor, remainder, and contingent beneficiaries. You have trust protectors, which are one of my favorite things, and of course successor trust protectors. You have directed trustees and designated representatives, at least in Florida. There's a lot of parties that could be relevant in a trust. You have to always look at the trust agreement to see what it says. So Trust 101. They can last up to 1,000 years in Florida, and other states are different times. There used to be something called the rule against perpetuity, which was a law school nightmare and bar exam nightmare, but the states have mostly codified that. In Florida, it's 1,000 years. Trusts can own property, like a business, like a company, like a human. They can transact, they can buy, they can sell, they can have bank accounts, they can own stuff. The trustee manages the assets, they hire professionals, they make distributions, typically of income or principal, or both income and principal, to the beneficiaries for whatever, on what standard the agreement dictates, whether it's health, education, maintenance, and support, or HEMS, or it is discretionary, partial discretionary, best interests. There's a lot of ways to do this. Trustees are typically fiduciaries, which means they have a elevated standard of care to make sure that they are administering the trust in accordance with the terms of the agreement, and always looking out for the beneficiaries, who are really the equitable owners of the assets. Okay, so trusts can be divided into a lot of different kinds. There's grantor trusts and non-grantor trusts. Grantor trusts, and I have some visual aids here that I can share with you. Grantor trusts are trusts that are typically in the grantor's estate for income tax and estate tax planning. What that translates to in English is that if there's income in that trust, it's going to go on your 1040. Whether it's irrevocable or revocable, it can be structured to go on your 1040, which is advantageous for tax purposes because irrevocable trusts that are non-grantor trusts get slaughtered for tax purposes without careful planning and without professional help. So grantor trusts are just another way of owning assets that are not in your name as a human. They don't have incapacity, they don't die, they last a long time, and they continue cruising along. As I say, the car keeps driving with different management, different drivers when those life events do happen. Non-grantor trusts are separate legal entities. They file a 1041. Every year there's usually accountings and tax returns and trustees. They're great vehicles, not for everybody, but they're great vehicles. I have a whole lot of stuff on this on my YouTube channel in the Bite-Sized Bits of Knowledge series, so I will not get into that now. I just wanted to let you know, though, that there are two kinds: revocable, irrevocable, grantor, non-grantor, and sometimes you have your irrevocable grantor trust, which is important for our purposes of talking about this because you sometimes might want to have a trust own the LLC, and the LLC can pass through to that trust, and it needs to be thought through as to how that LLC is taxed and how that trust is taxed. So, be mindful of that. There are two things I would mention in terms of, I know I have it later. Let me see if I have it later. I do. I have it later, so I'll spare you at the moment on the issues that trusts can experience if there are LLCs that are taxed a certain way. There's ways around it. But I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to leave you in suspense. So That's your Trust 101. In this context, go to our YouTube channel, Haimo Law TV, Bite-Sized Bits of Knowledge series. There's a lot of really good stuff in there to learn more about trusts and how they work and getting under the hood mechanically. All right, thank you for stopping by and stay tuned for more.